Hi and good morning everyone to yet another vlog on the series which is Cost Accounting Standards series, and I'm trying to cover all the important cost accounting standards which are there in your syllabus. Obviously there are 24 cost accounting syllabus in cost accounting standards in your syllabus. So I'm trying to pick all those standards which are very important from an exam perspective and which have repeatedly come in the past examinations. So in this series, the next cost accounting standard which we are going to discuss today is the Cost Accounting Standard 12. Again, an important standard, and the standard deals with repairs and maintenance cost. So we have dealt with repairs and maintenance cost. The repairs and maintenance cost is debited to profit and loss account as an expenditure. Even Income Tax Act allows this expenditure as a revenue expenditure, and this is a revenue expenditure. However, we need to understand one thing, that there is a high probability that some part of repair and maintenance is to be capitalized. So we need to carefully distinguish between what portion of repair and maintenance should be capitalized and which portion should be taken to revenue or the profit and loss account. So let me take an example. ABC and Company Private Limited had purchased a machinery worth rupees 10 lakhs. They had purchased it on 1st January 2018. So this machinery was obviously capitalized in the books of accounts of ABC and Company Limited. Now, on 1st February 2018, there was an expenditure on this machinery which was amounting to rupees 1 lakh. For some additions or for some overhauling which was done for this machine, repair or maintenance, whatever you want to say. Again, there was an expenditure of 10,000 rupees on 1st March 2018. Now, of course, this portion is capitalized and depreciation to be claimed on this portion. You have to tell me, out of these two portions, which portion is to be capitalized and which portion is to be taken to revenue account, which means it has to be written off in profit and loss account. You have to tell me which is the capital portion and which is the revenue portion. Please remember, this amount is rupees 1 lakh. This amount is rupees 10,000. Just think over it. Sir, we feel that the amount which is the higher amount should be capitalized because it's a huge amount, and the amount which is lower amount should be taken to revenue account. So 10 lakh should be clubbed with 1 lakh to make it 11 lakhs, and 10,000 should not be clubbed. 10,000 should be taken separately to the profit and loss account. If you are thinking in this manner, your thinking is absolutely wrong. Please understand that to capitalize a particular expenditure, you need to see that whether that particular expenditure has any benefit over and above the existing benefits on the asset or not. Sir, what do you mean by this? Meaning is very simple. If an expenditure increases the estimated useful life of that particular asset, or it increases the capacity or productivity of that particular asset, then that expenditure, if any of these two conditions are satisfied, then that expenditure is to be capitalized. And please note that amount is irrelevant. Amount can be 10,000 or 1 lakh, but I'm not bothered about the amount. Amount is irrelevant. It can be high, it can be low. If you satisfy either of the two conditions for me, that the estimated useful life of the machine increases beyond the existing level, or the capacity or productivity of the machine increases beyond the current level, if any of these conditions or both of these conditions are satisfied, then I will capitalize that particular amount or expenditure. Otherwise, I will take it to revenue account. So this is the broad underlying principle of treating repair and maintenance expenditure and deciding whether it should be capitalized or taken to revenue. So this is what is there in the definition: cost of all activities which have the objective of maintaining or restoring an asset, equipment, or in or state in which it can perform its required function at the intended capacity and efficiency. So if the expenditure restores the asset to its required or intended capacity or efficiency, then it is repair and maintenance. If it increases its required efficiency or capacity, then it is capital expenditure. Repair and maintenance activities for the purpose of the standards include routine or preventive maintenance, planned maintenance, breakdown maintenance, etc. Now, we have classified the repair and maintenance cost according to its various parameters. First is by nature. If we see the nature, then preventive or routine or planned maintenance, corrective maintenance, total productive maintenance, which is also known as TPM, and breakdown related maintenance. So these are the 4 types of maintenance which have been classified as per the nature of maintenance. I have given definitions of these maintenance in the footnotes. You can read the definitions of these maintenance in the footnotes. Guys, of course, you have to remember all these broad headings and definitions. You can just read once or twice and you will be able to reproduce them in the examination. Second is by size: minor repair, major repair. That is by size, obviously amount. And I've already told you, size doesn't matter. Amount doesn't matter. Amount can be high, amount can be low. You have to see the nature and the benefit of that particular repair to decide whether it is revenue or capital. By the class of asset, so if repair is done to building, then it is called building repair. If repair is done to machinery, it's called machinery repair, furniture repair, vehicle repair, computer repair, etc. Then the workshop type: mechanical repair. What type of repair is there? Whether it is mechanical repair, whether it is electric repair, electrical repair, civil repair, instrumental repairs, etc. So these are the categories of repair and maintenance expenditure. Now coming on to principles of measurement. I have already discussed these principles of measurement, which are similar to the utilities principles of measurement. If you've watched my video on the utilities, they are similar to how these are measured. So cost of in-house repair and maintenance activity will include cost of material, consumable stores, spare, manpower, whatever expenditure has been incurred or resources have been incurred on in-house repair, all those will be added. Then if cost of repair maintenance activity carried out by outside contractor inside the entity. So if you hire an external contractor, he comes inside your entity and performs the repair maintenance inside your premises, then the cost will be charges payable to the contractor. For example, annual maintenance charges, then cost of material, consumable stores, spare. If you have given any such other resource to the contractor within your premise, then that will be added. Next is cost of repair maintenance activities carried out by contractor at its premises. So if the contractor takes your machinery to his premises and carries out the repair maintenance activities at his premises, then the cost will be invoice or agreed price, including duties, taxes, other expenditure directly attributable thereto. For example, it may involve cost of travel of technicians besides bill for services from the agency rendering the service. So these are pretty simple principles which are there for maintenance, repair maintenance cost. Now a very, very important element which I want to discuss, which came in June 2018 attempt also, and it is highly important, guys. High value spare when replaced by a new spare. So sometimes there is a machinery. So suppose this is a machinery, and this machinery has a big spare which is actually the soul of the machinery and the major part of the machinery. So this entire machinery, the cost of this machinery is actually dependent upon cost of this spare. So say 80% or 90% of the cost of this machinery, or more than 60% of the cost of this machinery is cost of the spare. So this spare is known as high value spare. Now in case of high value spares, we tend to, if this spare is faulty in any manner, we tend to remove this spare and not sell it, keep it in our store, keep it in store, then we repair it and use it for future. Till the time this entire process is happening, a new spare is purchased and it is fitted in the machinery so that the production process is not hampered. This is the process which happens for high value spares. Now the question arises, what should we do with this repair cost and with the value of this old spare which will form part of your so to say inventory? So what will happen to this old spare? This is what we are trying to gauge. The cost accounting standard itself has given a beautiful example to explain this concept. Let's go on to the example directly. A company purchased equipment for rupees 10 crores. So if there's an equipment which the company has purchased, it is expensive equipment, 10 crore rupees, and insurance spare for 1 crore. So there's a spare which is there, which we have purchased as an insurance spare, which means there is one spare inside the equipment and we have purchased additional spare, which is second spare, which is known as insurance spare, which is for 1 crore rupees. So 10 crore includes one spare of 1 crore rupees, and we have another spare which is a Stepney, which is an insurance spare for 1 crore rupees additional. If the company is covered under Ind AS, such spare is capitalized as property, plant and equipment. So insurance spare is also capitalized as property, plant and equipment. After use for 5 years, the equipment broke down and a part was replaced with the aforesaid insurance part. So after 5 years, the original machinery broke down and it was replaced by the insurance spare. After 5 years, the depreciated value of the equipment is 5 crores. So it has got depreciated by 50%. So this 10 crore rupees got depreciated to 5 crores. As property, plant and equipment are depreciated when they are available for use, accordingly depreciated part of the new spare is 50 lakh rupees. So the new spare, the insurance spare, which we have capitalized along with the asset, the depreciated portion is obviously 50 lakhs, because in 5 years, 50% of the equipment as well as the insurance spares got depreciated. The old spare was reconditioned. The old spare which was fitted in the machinery was reconditioned, and cost of reconditioning is 10 lakh rupees. So this is the so to say repair and maintenance cost of the old spare. As per the estimated life of the old spare, the future economic benefits, current market value of the reconditioned old spare, the future economic benefits of the old spare and current market value of the old spare has been estimated at 25 lakhs. So students, the old spare which will come out of the machinery, the value of that spare is estimated at 25 lakh rupees only. The amount to be treated in repairs and maintenance is 35 lakh, which is as follows. Let's see what is to be added to repair and maintenance cost. So let's see this table very carefully. Equipment cost 10 crores, cost of new spare 1 crores, and needless to say there is one spare which is inside this equipment which is again costing you 1 crore rupees. New spare is there for 1 crores, total cost is 11 crores, depreciated for 5 years 5.5 crores, and depreciated value of equipment and spares, so this is WDV 5.5 crores. Old spare which is there inside this equipment has got reconditioning cost of 10 lakh rupees. Depreciated value of old spare is 50 lakh rupees. So in your books of accounts, you have a total expenditure of 60 lakh rupees with respect to the old spare. How 60 lakh rupees? 10 lakh rupees which you have expended on the overhauling, repair and maintenance of the old spare, and 50 lakh rupees which you have spent, which you already have as WDV of that particular old spare. So in toto, the total expenditure which is there in your books of accounts for this old spare is 60 lakh rupees. However, you know that the value of the spare which should be carried in the balance sheet as per the market value is only 25 lakhs. So now what should we do? We should simply deduct 25 lakhs from 60 lakhs, show 25 lakhs in the balance sheet and the differential should go to profit and loss account as repair and maintenance expenditure. So simple logic that whatever expenditure you have accumulated for the old spare, out of that expenditure, only that expenditure should be capitalized which will yield future economic benefits and which is amounting to rupees 25 lakhs. The balance expenditure should be expensed off in the profit and loss account as repair and maintenance expenditure. Students, let me tell you, this is one of the most important amendments which has been carried out by 2017 amendments in the rules and the cost accounting standards. So from an exam perspective, it is really important. You have to understand the numerical as well as the theoretical portion very clearly. It should be clear in your head because a question can be asked from this concept in December attempt as well. Rest are same principles which we have already discussed several times. Then there are disclosures and assignment of cost. So this is pretty much all for all the key conclusions of Cost Accounting Standard 12. I'll keep coming up with new cost accounting standard, more cost accounting standards in this series in the future. Till then, study well, do well. Hope you are already studying really well. So I need not to say study well, but I would definitely say that happy studying.